To you on the other side of the screen, hello, Shine here. And today's video is a bit different from what I've been posting so far, because this time I would like to share a testimony of mine. My story about having a trauma for so many years and how I overcame it. So my trauma was caused by an accident that happened when I was almost 2 years old. So 2 weeks before my second birthday, we went to Bolinao, Pangasinan on an island there for an outreach ministry. Now, because it was on an island, we had to board boats to get there. But before boarding, my mom forced me to be put in a baby's carrier. Now, I was almost 2 years old, and I didn't really fit in the baby's carrier anymore. It was so tight around the edges, but my mom still forced me to be put in the baby's carrier, so I wasn't able to do anything, not knowing that it was actually wisdom from the Lord for what was about to happen to us. Now, halfway through our travel to the island, our boat was hit by a bigger boat, destroying our boat's outrigger, causing it to lose balance and turn upside down. Now, both my mom and my older brother didn't know how to swim. Well, neither did I. So we all fell into the water and just started sinking. Now, according to my mom, when we were sinking deeper and deeper, she keeps moving her feet, trying to feel any sand to know if we have reached the seabed already. But there was no sand. She can't feel any sand at all. And according to her estimations, the depth that we have reached was almost like 2 floors of a house. So we just kept sinking and sinking and sinking deeper as time passed by. My mom prayed to the Lord. She just said, Lord, if this is the end of us, if this is the end of our time here on earth, it's okay with us. You can take us home. But please be the one to comfort Pastor Ken, my father, because he went to another place at the time for another speaking engagement in a different place. So he wasn't with us. But she added, Lord, if this is not yet the end of our time here, of your plans for our lives here on earth, then please guide us, give us the wisdom of what we have to do. Now, the Lord answers prayers. He told my mom to just raise her right hand like this and move it like this. So my mom followed the instruction that God gave her. And she just did this. Slowly, she felt that we were moving upwards. We're no longer sinking deeper, we were moving upwards. And after a while, we have reached the surface. My mom's head was above the water. She could finally breathe. But then she noticed my older brother, meters away from us, was still sinking deeper. So my mom prayed again, Lord, just like what you have taught me, please tell my son what to do. Now, according to my brother, he didn't really hear God's voice during the time or anything, but what he kept doing was he kept moving his legs like this. I can't really show you, but he kept doing that, and then slowly my mom saw him moving upwards as well. And then the Lord spoke to my mom again. Minda, your daughter is still underwater. I just mentioned before that I was put in a baby's carrier. Now, if this is my mom's head, my head would be here because I was in the baby's carrier. So she remembered about me. So what she did was, with her left hand is still supporting me in the baby's carrier actually. So what she just did is that she lifted me up, not removing me from the baby's carrier, so you could imagine how painful it must have been. But I didn't really care at the time because I haven't been able to breathe for quite a while already. And according to my mom, when I got out of the water, I was crying continuously. And I kept crying and I kept yelling, Daddy. I kept calling my dad. Daddy, Daddy. According to my brother, he was meters away from us. But what happened was, he felt like when his head was already above the water, he felt like underneath his feet, he was just walking on glass to get to where me and my mom was, because we were nearer to the boat than he was. So what the two of them did was that they went back to the boat. The boat didn't sink, it's just upside down. So when they got there, I think the glass that my brother was walking on, according to him, was already gone, and they were just holding onto the boat. Now, it wasn't just the three of us at the time. We were going on an outreach ministry, so we have a team of people. Not really a big group, but we did fill 3 boats. We were on the 3rd boat, along with instruments and the other things. Basically, we were like the last people to get to the boat because I kept crying, not wanting to be in the baby's carrier. Yeah, it was my fault. Sorry. When our friends noticed what happened to us, the 2 boats turned around to get near us. Now you may be asking, why didn't anyone help them right away? Well, you see, everyone was in shock at what happened. They saw the 3 of us sink into the water, you know. There was one youth who had the courage and had the presence of mind to do what he had to do. He jumped out of their boat. I believe he was from the 2nd boat. He jumped out of their boat, swam all the way to where we were, took me from my mom, and then swam back to the 2nd boat, and then handed me over to another brother of his. And then that same person went back, took my brother, then swam back to the 2nd boat again and left my brother there. Still the same person. Swam all the way back again to where my mom was and helped my mom to get to the boat where me and my brother are now in. But the problem was my mom was wearing a silk blouse at that time. So it was really hard for her to get onto the boat. And my mom is not particularly slim either, so it was quite a struggle. She even suggested that she will just hold on to the edge of the boat until we reach the island because she can't get onto the boat. But then this brother, who's still in the water with my mom, told my mom, "Tita, you can just step on my shoulders to get onto the boat." So that is what they did. That youth lowered his body into the water so my mom could step onto his shoulders to get to the boat. So that was what happened. We're all saved by the grace of God. Now, this may be a question. We were going on an outreach ministry, but still, this accident happened. Now we continued our travel and we reached the island. We were greeted by the barangay captain and other people there. When they heard about what happened to us, the barangay captain asked for divers to retrieve our things. Our things got retrieved. The good thing was my bag, where my milk was, my clothes, and my snacks. It wasn't in the 3rd boat. It was in the 2nd boat, so at least they had something to comfort me with. Now you know what's really amazing? God's purpose why He let that accident happen. Word really spread fast on the island that there were people who had an accident in this area and was still able to reach them, because we were informed by the people that on the area where our boat turned upside down we weren't the first ones had an accident there, but we were the first ones who survived. They saw a miracle in front of their very own eyes. Us being alive was a miracle. Now, another thing was when we got to talk to some of the divers. They told my mom that it was a really good thing that I was put in a baby's carrier, because deeper into that area, there was a current. Had I not been wrapped around in a baby's carrier, my mom, I would have been the first one getting sucked into that current because I was lighter. There was no way for me to survive, and my body would be found somewhere else. That was the reason why God made my mom put me in a baby's carrier. Our outreach ministry there was a success. A lot of people were able to attend because the word about us surviving really spread fast. And it really got a lot of people. So they came to where we were, so it was easier to talk to them. So it was a seemingly bad situation. We had an accident. It was such a negative thing. But you see how God used that seemingly bad thing for a greater purpose? It's just amazing. If that accident didn't happen, I wouldn't be here sharing with you this testimony. So it was great and all that we survived that accident, but that accident caused a great trauma for me. It is always a struggle, almost like a war between my mom and my brother and me whenever they try to make me take a bath, because I really didn't like the feeling of the water in my body. When my body touches water, I just don't like it. I start trembling, I start shaking, and I'm just really scared, and I start crying loudly. So for 6 months, they always had trouble whenever they try making me take a bath. Until one day after 6 months, my brother asked me this one question, and that changed everything. Shine, do you want to be smelly? Because if you don't take a bath, you're gonna become smelly. You're gonna smell bad. With that one question, they got me to take a bath, going into the bathroom peacefully. That, was I not scared anymore? No, I wasn't scared of taking a bath. That helped. But growing up, I like swimming pools. I do, I really do. Whenever I try learning how to swim, of course, you have to learn about breathing first. That is what they teach you first in swimming, right? It's always been hard to me because whenever my head is underwater, of course I can't breathe there. But even after I get out of the water, I still can't breathe. My heart starts beating faster and I keep shaking. I was only almost 2 years old when the accident happened, so I don't really remember what happened. The story I just told you earlier, it was something that my mom and my brother tells me. But it seems like my body remembers what happened. It remembers how I wasn't able to breathe for so long under the water and how scared I was, because every time my head is underwater, it just happens all over again. But 2 years ago, a miracle happened, another miracle happened. I learned how to float. I still don't know how to swim, but I learned how to float. And I posted something on my Facebook during that time, which I will just be showing you in the screen. So that is how I got to learn how to float. I still don't know how to swim step at a time. Let's take it slowly. But that's not really the end of it. I did try something that really made me face my trauma head on. You wanna know what it is? Do wait for next week's video. Thank you so much for watching. God bless and have a nice day.